Next up on K100 is former WWE superstar and Puerto Rican wrestling legend Savio Vega's first appearance on the show. Check out part 1 of the interview now.
The story that you say about the white stuff, we talk about the coming in whites. I don't know why. It was the remember right now why we dress in the black, but we look like 4 glasses of milk.
With white shirt,
I love
white
that.
pants, yeah. Como si estaban, like if we're selling ice cream.
Exactly. And in the story that I love that you did here in Puerto Rico when you break the guitar on Stacy. Yeah. Oh my God! I don't know if you guys know about that, but they want to kill Konnan. They have to call the state police here. You said, yeah? You see the video?
Yeah, where he was serenading her and trying to hit on her, and then he busted open the owner. Didn't you hardway the owner?
She got busted.
You hardway her. Yeah, she busted her open, but her dad was like, "Hey, it's good for business."
Savio. I don't think I ever told you this. So when I hit Stacy, la guitarra wasn't fixed. Yeah. Okay. So not only le abrí la cabeza,
you have to see the neck. The neck went like that big time.
Yeah. And I go,
I remember.
Savio. And so the dad is right by her. I'm like, oh, fuck. And I look at him and he goes, it's good for business. Yeah, fuck it.
Exactly. That's good. But it's good. And we know it's good for business and enjoy a good house. But outside, the people want to kill Konnan. They have to call the police. I don't know if you guys see the rest of the video. He's running out of to the car to leave the crazy Puerto Ricans. They want to mosh him. But man, we did so many things. Remember one time was a gossip. That something happened with that's the first time you and me talk. Remember somebody stooched the guys. The Mexican guys was a
they said Rico. That it was you and Quiñones.
And remember that shit? Yeah. And they say, but they blame me. And then Quiñones said, no, the Konnan says. I said, I didn't even fucking know Konnan. So no, he said that you called the immigration. I said, well, let's call Konnan.
Let me tell you what happened.
I'm in the business too.
Let me tell Disco what happened and the people because they don't know. What happened is we had sent some Mexican wrestlers to Carlos Colon, who was the opposition for IWA, and they got deported because they didn't have any working papers. So everybody said it was IWA. Yeah. That's what
they got deported, but then they try to blame the company. The company, right?
Savio and
Yeah. But listen. But by that time we still in WWF, I believe so. No,
maybe
I was in WWF by that time. Yeah. I remember because I remember when we are in one of the Coliseums. I don't know where, and that's when Quiñones told me about, and I say, "Fuck, let's call Konnan." So I got the number. Let's just call him right now. I remember I was a pay-per-view. We doing a pay-per-view or something. And that's the first time we talk. I hear about him, of course, and the rest of the boys. But when they try to blame us on that, I got hot. Because you got hot when somebody blame you for something that you don't did. And I was hot. That's the first time we talk. That's the first time we met, and on the phone. And since that, we've been having good business, man. Because that's the way. This is it. It's business. That's it. It's nothing. The only thing that put all the boys together is the passion of the business. What we love to do inside the ring and blah blah blah. But here in Puerto Rico, man, when we did the IWA and you see the work, you see what we did. You even and the big. I believe you went to the stadium, the Roberto Clemente Stadium. I believe so. And Caguas also. You see the houses, man. We work hard. The production.
It was very, just so you know, let me just say this. It was very like, Glenn, it was very like those old school WWE crowds, very wild fan base with a lot of time.
Because I grew up in Atlanta, and what we had when I was a kid, Saturday night on Channel 36, we had a thing called the Saturday Night, I forget what the show was. It'd be 7 hours of wrestling from all over the world, right? We'd have Memphis, AWA, but sometimes they would show Puerto Rico. right? And I know, and
7 hours. Wow.
Yeah, it was 7 different shows. 7 hours, and that's not to mention I get to see WCW and NWA on TBS Superstation. I also get to see the WWF on W. I was watching 13 hours of wrestling a week growing up, so I learned a lot.
That's beautiful.
The thing about Puerto Rico that was always interesting. So when I was watching the Puerto Rico clips, these are the big names. You had Carlos Colon, of course. You had Bruiser Brody and Abdul the Butcher, but you had, what was this guy's name? Black Gorman. Was that the guy's name?
Yes.
Yes. He was a big heel. Him and Carlos. When I was watching it, they were in a big feud. And one of the shows, like Carlos was down, right, and he was bleeding profusely from the head, and this Black Gorman guy was just like kicking him in the head like over and over. Bro, people were throwing shit. Throwing things in the ring. Yeah. It's very violent in the crowd because it's the Puerto Rican crowd. They like fighting. They like boxing. They like so the style there was brawling and bloody and heat. That's how you drew money. It's like violence and blood and everything. And it was an issue, but I think they took it off. We didn't get to see a lot of it because it was too. And every TV show was all blood. Guys were bleeding, getting heat on the guys in the back. Yeah. So, but I saw about 6 months worth of Puerto Rican, and I was like, I liked it. I liked the fact that they couldn't put the fans near the ring because, they attacked the wrestler. They worked at one stadium where they had, this just wouldn't be close. And plus, Abdullah would just, he would go with the crowd anyway. It's just like, but,
he was over. He was over. Abby was over big time with the feud with Carlos. And you know what? One of the things that, like you, when you see this, you already, when you watch the shows, you already see people fighting. It's like, what the heck? What's going on over here? So that's one of the things in WWF. One time, the guy says, go to Puerto Rico so you learn how to fight. Right. And I went like, what do you mean? What do you mean like fight? And then later I realized, I said, of course, what happened is so simple. What the matches that everybody was seeing is grudge matches. They already have some story behind. So when the guys got together, it was a kicking and punching and the guts and the blood and the blah, blah, blah. So that's why when the people see the matches, they say, well, you go into Puerto Rico, to fight. Because the match never start with the headlock and tackle, drop down, nothing like that. It start with the big feud, because that was the draw. That draw that people there, and that's what they want to see. That the babyface got even. And that happened. That's my school, and I learned how to do that school, how to do that stories. Then we still moving in the 90s, then the 2000s, and the school started moving a little bit, and the guys start moving and learn and doing a few of the things. Now you got a Black Gorman. The only thing he was kicking and punching. You never see Gorman out of his, out of the floor. The only place you see him flying is when he maybe jumped from the ring to the floor, And now you got these kids. They go in and do 20 spinning left and right, up and down, and it's like whoa. It's a big time different, in what's happening in wrestling these days.
Let me ask you a question.
Of course, yes.
Where did you work the territories in the States at all? Or did you just work pretty much Puerto Rico?
The only 2 territories, big ones that I worked was Puerto Rico and Louisiana for Bill Watts. Then I went to Mexico for 5 months. Then I come back to Puerto Rico and work more of my time here in Puerto Rico. But I was receiving all this school from the guys in the States. I work with. Wow, you may name some names, and I will tell you. Yes, I got Alpha, Sika,
This is interesting because we had Kevin because Kevin Sullivan did a podcast one time and explained it. Like I didn't really know this growing up back during the territory times. Is that like Puerto Rico, Memphis, Watts, the matches brawling. You had to know how to throw a punch. You had to know how to fight. You had to do okay. Georgia was Georgia and Carolina. A lot of wrestling, trading holds. Tackle, drop down, hip toss, something. And out west, California was a lot of lucha inspired, a lot of high flyers, and something like so. So each part of the country. But the thing is, today is the styles graduated away from a lot of the territories. A lot of guys worked in these territories. Bro, the guys know how to throw punches. Today's wrestlers just didn't work these territory because, bro, throwing punches, you need the repetition. You need to be in there with different guys and throw and practice. These guys just don't do that anymore. It's high flying, the spots, everything. No. But the skill that you need to draw money is to look like you know how to fight, and that's always been the top of the card matches. Two guys things, and it's funny how guys that did it, they wrestled forever because, bro, they went out and they looked like they knew how to fight. They didn't have to kill themselves, Go ahead, Savio.
Yeah, and another thing is the other thing is they don't sell. I mean, they want the people to buy the match, but if I give you a pile driver, you get up before me. Where's the selling of the neck? Where's the selling of the purpose of what I'm doing? I do a DDT on you, I do whatever on you, and you get up before me. Now they do this Canadian Destroyer, and they do it 4 times. How many times you can do a move to pin somebody? I mean, you do that when you got the main event, when you grow all this story to go to the top and make it. Now you got the house. When you got the house, you know what you did. The story, the coming from 3 or 4 weeks, 5 weeks, I don't know, building, pay off when you got the sold out in the crowd. So these dates, the matches of the kids of these dates, they're okay. They're okay. I mean, but if you take at least 40, but because you have to say it that way, 40 or 50 move out, and you put those other time to sell, to build the match, they're gonna get less hurt because a lot of kids get hurt big time because they start doing this flip-flop, and the only thing they waiting is for the people going, that's wrestling, or whatever they want to do, because the rest of the time the people are in the phone, doing the phone, and maybe they hear the ring sounds heavy, and they look, oh yeah. They come back here. It's no more suffering. The people don't see the faces of the guy. They don't sell. They just have stone face and 20 move to do, and I believe in the territory that anybody run, if the booker goes and come back to the old books of wrestling, which is the wrestling 101 of the selling, the story, the finishing move of each person have to be the finishing move of that person. I can do a DDT because that's Jay the Snake Roberts. So nobody touched the DDT, nobody touched the super kick, nobody touched I don't know what. And you respect, and that pays. That will pay because the fans will be appreciate of their money worth in the story of whatever match they watching. Sometimes I see the matches in a word that I learned big time with Dutch Mantel, and I know you guys gonna agree. Less is more. Right. Less is more. I mean, if you sell it, they buy. If you don't sell it because you think you look stupid in that, no, you don't look stupid in that. If you sell it and you build it, you're gonna see the end of the match. The people erupt with a good comeback, with whatever they do. Save that finish, save that energy for the comeback. Because in the first 10 minutes is a jumping circus, a lot of flips, a lot of that. Then at the end of the match, they come tired, and the finish got fucked. So I learned. Go ahead.
No, the other problem, Savio, is this, that they're so what happens is when you got into the business, Savio, and you first walked into the dressing room, everybody in there eran veterans. They were older guys. You didn't see young guys in the dressing room. So you have all this young generation now, that they're doing this. Like you said, they're just trying to get chants and pops. This is awesome. Yeah. Please come back. Yeah. And all that. And they're not selling. And what they don't understand is that they can get a lot more out of the match, less risk in getting hurt, and they're still going to get over, but they're so busy trying to do 40 things that they don't need. But ese es el problema, bro. You know what I'm saying? And
brother.
And then let me tell you another thing. When you're trying to remember so much shit, I'm going to tell you something. I went to a show in Canada, and they had me as a manager for this guy, right? And I was like, work the crowd, turn around, And
you got dizzy.
The guy doesn't remember because he's trying to remember what's happening next. He doesn't stop to work the crowd. He's not letting the guy sell because he's okay. What's next? What's next?
Yeah.
You know, and like when
they come. Yeah. Go ahead.
But let me tell you why Puerto Rico helped me a lot, Savio. Really, going to Puerto Rico helped me a lot because one big thing, we were in separate dressing rooms.
Yes.
You couldn't get together with the guy before the match. Yes.
That's another story.
I had to learn.
You grab two guys.
Right.
You grab two guys now and tell them, call it in a ring. This is a finish.
No way. No way. Right. Yeah.
They're gonna be like, what? Listen to this, because happened to me. I was an agent, and something happened. This match got to go to the ring, and we are like, hey guys, now gotta go. No, wait 1 minute. No, we don't have 1 minute. You gotta go now. It's now. No, wait a minute. Let me do this and let me do that. Call it in a ring. I can't do that. And I went like, what the? I just scratched my head. I'm like, Jesus Christ. So don't put too much. Don't put too much, because now in the ring, it's like you say, Konnan, and that's the truth. They're going to remember it. This is now, this is later, this is now one spot, just one simple spot. They mess it up and everything.
Or somebody forgets.
Go to the drain.
Or somebody forgets.
Yes. And now the thing is, if you remember everything and I forgot something, now you in the ring got mad and the people noticed something happened here.
Right.
Before, you don't have no chance to, mess it up, because it was so simple. The people right there, you got the bad guy was a bad guy with, eyes, scratching, what is it called, gimmicks or whatever, the invisible gimmick. How many times that invisible gimmick worked, brother? And the people's buying it. If you sell it, they buy it. These kids these days, they forget that. They just want to jump here, there, whatever, and so many got hurt. And man, it's bad. They didn't even make it to 10 years in the business.
Let me ask you a question, Savio. Is this because this is starting to happen in Mexico, and obviously it's already happened in the United States, but in Puerto Rico, especially, that wrestling was built on brawling and blood and guts. Are we at a point now in society in Puerto Rico where you can't bleed anymore? Or do they still like that over there and you can still do it on TV?
They still.
Okay.
They like it. They're still doing it. Yeah. What we're doing is try to protect more, because we don't need juice 24/7. Before, in the 80s, that's every day. Right. 80s, 90s. Right now, we don't need too much of that. If we're gonna do it, have to be something to get the juice. If not, do it because doing it. No, we don't need that. Let's. It's more safe for everybody. We keep the canvas clean too. And we don't need it. So when we need to do it,
This is one thing, and this, Savio, as a wrestler and as a booker, especially now. Okay, hardly nobody does it. When people see blood, they're like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying, bro? That's why
it's special. Yeah. It's special if you know how to sell it.
Right.
Special if you know how to sell it, and the story of what you're doing in the moment is good, and you could play by ear. That's one of the things that we learned. Right there, you could make more or make less. It's like, okay, do this now. No, hold it, because too much is too much.
Bro, Savio, that's
the right time. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just want to say this. That's the great thing of calling a match in the ring, because you can control the tempo. You don't have to get to the next move. You can say, sell, work the people. You know what I'm saying? And bro, that's something I learned in Puerto Rico, because I didn't know how to do it before.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's so easy, man. I learned in the beginning when I started. Of course, I was in one direction straight. Let's do this. Now, when I grab, Jose helped me a lot.
Invader One.
When I was in Invader One, when I was doing the TNT as a babyface, he picked me as his partner for a long time. And what I just did all the time was selling. Tag team with him, selling. And doing those selling, I learned a little bit more English. I learned the timing. I learned how to work with these old timers. I don't have to rush nothing, and become a point in where he said, "No, I sell tonight." I said, "No, I'm gonna sell tonight," because I was feeling the crowd. I was, before we see the crowd, how is it? Plus the story that we have for that night, tell me that I have to take control of the match. So when you have control of the match, you control the people, and that's one of the things the kids these days don't know, because it's not their fault neither, because they don't have the experience and they don't have nobody to grab it by the hand, sit them right there and tell them this. I'm lucky. I got a bunch of people that teach me. I got Luke Williams. I got Mr. Fuji in WWF. He helped me a lot, man. You got Eric Embry, helped me a lot. I mean, you have a bunch of people. The Invader, like I say, he grabbed me by the hands and selling. You're going to sell tonight, and I'm going to sell. And I love to sell. In the beginning, I didn't even understand why. I'm like, why? It's like, why? But then later I realized, wait a minute, this is cool. You are in school right now. You're learning, brother. And with my selling and reaction of what we do in the ring, people beat him up. I'm trying to get to the corner, and the heel pulled me, push me, do this, hit Jose, and I was controlling the match. And then realize, wait a minute, when you control the people, you control the crowd, you have a night off. These days, it's not the kids' fault. And when I have the chance in cards that I work and I watch the matches, I call the kids on the side and I tell them, do this, don't do that, because this, and I explain why. And that's one of the things that happen these days. It's not all timers out there to teach these kids, to tell them, hold on. And now what they watch from Japan, they watch from the WWF or watch from any other companies. I mean, that's exactly what they're going to do, because that's the only
their teacher, the videotape, yeah.
Exactly. And the games, you see the games. I mean, from where you think they're coming with all this flip-flop, from the games, and those games, I mean, they're toys. And when they come to reality and hit that canvas, they got knockout, they got knees, ankles, and whatever hurts, because the timing is not there. If you don't have, if you don't have the timing, you're in trouble.
When you would wrestle somebody back in the day, like, for example, Bruiser Brody or Abdul or something like that, you just went into the dressing room and basically you were just given the finish. And would you have maybe a high spot that you would do during the match, and that was it? That's all you really talked about, or how was it?
Yeah. Well, in those times, we send the ref. Here come if I was either dressing room, referee comes, and if the heel booker was in my dressing room, of course, explain me, this is what we're gonna do. Perfect. And they send a recorder, or they send the referee to take the message on the other side. So they go match by match. Everything was done. The rest you call it in the ring. If you want to, like you say, if you want to do a special move or whatever, so you tell referee tell over here. Have to be you send referee. So that way you don't have one referee say one thing and the other say another. So you got the same referee, so everybody know the story of what's going to happen in the ring. Now, when you work with those big guys, like the big names like Brody, like Abdullah, here come Terry Funk. That's a special matches, because when they come to Puerto Rico, you have to have any type of matches, a grudge match, street fight match, whatever, title match. So the people know these wrestlers by the story that they did before. So when you collide with them, you have to go in the same level. You cannot go down, because now you're going to kill the match. And it was so easy to work with them, because they're so over, just because they look like. You see those big monsters, you don't see nothing like that no more. You don't see no gimmicks like that. You don't see a guy like Brody. You don't see a guy like Abdullah the Butcher. You have to pick a company and have type of that look like guys, and build those guys to have like this second wave of new generation talent for the future. Right now, everybody want to look pretty, good colors, of course, which is that good. They look good in the ring. That's nothing wrong. but you don't have no character. And the way we did is that referee comes, give you the finish, you go in the ring and play by ear. Simple, so simple. And you got 10, 15, 20 minutes. I did 1 hour with Carlos, 1 hour. And the only thing we did was just we call two spots. What about this? And in the middle of the half an hour, this is going to happen. At the end, this is going to happen. Let's go. That's it. 1 hour.
Let me ask you a question.
We know went to the ring with 20 stuff. Yes.
Right. Exactly. I know. Well, that's. I wanted you to tell that story. So a lot of young wrestlers listen to the show and they're like, "Wow, that's it? A finish and maybe one little high spot." Where they're like, sometimes you go in there. I know this has happened to you, Savio, and you pass the guys and you pass them and you pass them. They're like 45 minutes putting together a 10-minute match. And I'm like, how much stuff are you putting in? And then they're changing it. And it's like, and they're all nervous. You can't talk to them because they're trying to remember everything, you know?
Yeah. And that's when you say, hey, you next. One minute. Yeah. Another one? I mean, you already have 2 hours of the same guy. You've been talking about this match since about a month ago.
Yeah, in the car to the auditorium. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And when you're ready to go to the ring, they forget.
Let me ask you a question. So you're part of this crew with Yokozuna and Undertaker, and who else was in that clique?
The BSK.
The BSK. You got the Garwins,
right?
Dennis and you got Fatu. You got Papa Shango, and you got Paul Bearer. You got Yokozuna, Fuji, Taker, and me. You got
so you guys are just both inside and outside of the ring, right?
Oh yeah, we when we start traveling together. I was traveling all the time with Yoko, Fuji, Fatu, and me. You know, sometimes Fatu was off or I'm off, but we take care of Fuji. I was taking care of Fuji since I met him over there.
Was he always playing jokes on you too?
My hand. No, he was taking care of me because I was taking care of him, and he was older already. You know, but he told me about bunches. He told me about a bunch of stories, man.
Yeah,
bad stories.
Yeah,
and so he teach me a lot. He teach me how to work in that company. When I was there with the character Konnan, and
was that a karate guy?
Hold on, take your time. The with the mask,
yeah. And
so he was telling me, hey, take it easy, do this, do that. You go too fast, and you have to do this. So I start, doing what he was telling me. So he watched all my matches. He was sit down and say, you next, yeah. He say, okay. He got his tobacco, okay, and he sit down there and watch my match. When I come back, he say, come on, and so I said, tell me. He say, this, okay. Tomorrow we fix, and that's the way I start fixing things here, there. That's it. One day he say, you got it. I said, thank you, Mr. I call him Mr. Miyagi,
Right.
And but Fuji, man, I love that man. He was tremendous.
Bro, the first time I saw Mr. Fuji, he was backstage, listen to this, in a table, drinking. No, I don't think he was drinking, but he was smoking, and he was playing cards with Andre the Giant.
Who was?
Wow.
Mr. Fuji.
Yeah, Fuji.
That's
Fuji.
when I was doing Max Moon, but I don't think you were there yet, huh?
Yeah, no, I wasn't there. I saw him first time I saw him was here in Puerto Rico. I was still a kid. Him and Toru Tanaka. They come down here because by those times, by those years of the 70s, they sent from Japan Kendo Kimura and Hiro Sasaki. I remember.
Yeah.
And they're short guys. And they come with
another guy
karate, whatever.
There was another guy, Savio, that was sent to LA called Keiji Shibuya. I don't know if you remember him.
Okay, I know. I don't remember him here. No.
Yeah.
But then Toru Tanaka come down to Puerto Rico and Mr. Fuji, and they stay here for a couple of months. And I mean, wow! Even Tanaka did a commercial here in Puerto Rico for rice. And I don't know if you know that, but
James Bond
Fuji is from Hawaii.
Yeah, but
he was in James Bond movie. Yes.
Yeah. He was a badass.
That man, brother, that man was solid.
Yes.
I met him, shake his hand, man, fat hand, being a bit strong. and he was solid. You touch him, and he was like, and he wasn't a muscular guy, but he was, solid guy, solid.
Yeah, like
missing those guys, man.
Yeah. Now,
big guy, cool.
Yes. So why didn't they ever do anything between in WWE between your clique and the clique?
Sorry, we start talking about the BSK. Yes, yeah.
Like the BSK versus the clique.
One of the things, I don't know. By that time, that probably wasn't in the head of nobody.
That would have been good.
We did even years later could be something good. And that feud start right there because it's an angle. It's a story that people start making themselves. So the people already watching, looking in the windows to see what's going on. And I believe if we just do something to have a feud, people will come. They book. Sure. When the people book
you had
something,
a lot of cool characters on both sides.
Off.
Yeah, and you had a lot of cool characters on both sides. Otra pregunta. Yes. Real quick, what are you doing in MLW? Because I know you're doing agenting and wrestling, right? What are you doing down there? And is there anybody that we should look out for in the future in MLW?
Right now, we just finished taping around 70 matches in Orlando, Florida, and that's gonna be good for probably 4 or 5 months, till we come back to tape again. I mean, one of the guys that I always look, and it's one of my favorites since I started looking at him, Jacob Fatu.
He's
that
incredible.
Guy have a great attitude. He have great timing, good attitude,
everything.
And
Savio,
when I put Step over there, go ahead.
You know what I always say, which is kind of weird, but it is true. It's very rare that you don't see a Samoan that can work. Like they can all work, right?
It's true. Yeah. But I mean, Jacob. You see Jacob. All those Samoans, they're great. I believe they born to be wrestlers. You know. I'm Jacob. When I start there, I start watching him because by the time they got in contact with me, I love to watch the crew. What we have there, who's there, what they doing. So I'm not coming blind, And I started watching him, and now I have the chance to see it live right there and watching his match. The first thing I noticed, the timing. He got the perfect timing, and when the wrestler have that timing, you have the rest of the war. Because I know he's coming like the match that he did with La Parca in Texas. What a hell of a match! I mean, woof. I was there watching, and look, I got good fun. I remember what a match those two did.
Plus, not only that, Savio,
and everything was
not only that. Disculpame. Not only that. Not only did you say Fatu is a great timing, great wrestler, and very physical. Park for being 55 or whatever he is, and he's hurt. He fucking brings it.
55. He's 55. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I say. That match that they did in Texas, I still remember, and I talked to Cord and I say, man, you have a hell of a match here for any kind of a pay-per-view or big show anywhere in the world. I mean, you have two guys, they work so hard. That Park, I mean, damn, what a match he did with Fatu, telling you. I remember Fatu flying over the top row, doing a 180 in the air on top of the Park. And I was watching that. The first thing, when I see that, I run to the aisle because I thought he was hurt. When he got up going crazy, I'm okay. When we did with you, we did the first time was Tijuana with the other company.
Yeah,
then the other one was with you.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then they did a hell of a show there. Oof, what a fucking show. Sorry. What a show. I mean, it was very, very good. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
We hope to do another one. So before you get out of here, a lot of people, they don't know. Some people don't know about Puerto Rican wrestling, so I'm going to give you some names so they can check them out. And plus, we get a lot of Boricuas that are always asking me about certain wrestlers. So I'm going to throw some names out because one of the things I do want to say about Puerto Rico there's so much talent there that people don't know about. There's so many great talkers that people don't know about. And I'm going to give you some names. Give me a comment about them. Let's start off with Carlos Colon. What's your comment on Carlitos?
Carlos, you know, Carlitos, the old man or
the old man,
the kid,
the old man, Carlos,
the old man. Well, you know, the old man, he was part of the company owner, you know, and they have this in the 70s when they start. They have this idea of come to do wrestling. Let's see what happened. But one of the big names there was Jose Miguel Perez, the Miguelito father. He was the one coming from New York, and Gorilla Monsoon was partner with them. And Gorilla was the one bring all these big names to Puerto Rico in the 70s and 80s, you know. And Carlos, of course, have
why do you think Gorilla helped Puerto Rico? What? Okay, why do you think Gorilla had such an interest in Puerto Rico?
He was part owner, right?
Oh, is that why?
He was partner. He was owner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was a part owner. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, and he's the one introduced the North American belts. The belt that I carry almost for 2 years was the North American belt single, and that belt was like 50 pounds, brother. That was heavy, and it was huge because it was made for him. So that we have to cut the half of the belt to fix it, you know, for a normal person. But the eagle in the front, man, it was heavy. And I believe it was a joke on me. They keep that belt for me for almost 2 years. So Carlos have the good opportunity of work with Abdullah, and they start doing this, this little story to see what happened. And brother, everything worked perfect. Everything went up, and houses start getting up, built it big time. Huracan Castillo father, the Cuban guy, he was a tough heel here in Puerto Rico. Then you got Carlitos, who was the baby face. Invader come here as a heel too, but Carlos surround himself with big names that put him over. And I mean, he was, if you see cards, I have some cards, older cards in papers and photos, and you see Carlos in second or third side on the baby face, you know, and you got Miguel Perez on top, you got Pedro Morales, Gorilla Monsoon on top, Dory Funk against Gorilla Monsoon and stuff like that, and you have Carlos in second or third match, you know, and then later when all these stories start building up, now you got Carlos on top, and from there, hey, nobody moved him from that position.
Right, and so Carlos, so people know he's the most popular wrestler probably in Puerto Rico history. Would you say on the island?
I mean,
yes, okay.
Hey, for more that you got the 70s, 80s, and 90s, 30 years on television on top, brother. I mean,
he was still there in the early 2000s. You mentioned
his name everywhere.
Yeah.
He did 2 matches with me in the 2000s. Yes. Yeah.
Now the second guy, this guy's probably one of the most popular guys ever. Great talker, great fighter. Invader One. What do you have to say about him?
Invader, I learned from him. Like I said before, he teach me how to wrestle in the ring. I know and I notice. I'm studying, you know, the little story of wrestling too, and people. And Invader work in WWF, you know, by that time. And come to Puerto Rico with the mask gimmick, and was a heel when he arrived here. Was a heel, and he was doing a combination of, you know, being a heel with the hard punch of one of the guys. I forget the name right now. Stasiak, I believe, was Stasiak. He was using the hard punch.
Yes,
you know.
Stan.
So he come here to Puerto Rico with that gimmick. Yeah, and 78 maybe. I don't know, 75, 78, something like that. Michel Martel, he got a stroke and he passed in Ponce. And what happened, Invader have the match that night with him. So what was easy to blame, the hard punch killed Michel Martel. You know, so that was the big news in Puerto Rico. Oh, he killed that guy with a hard punch. So the hard punch went up and stuck right away, big time. And
that move was super over in Puerto Rico. Punch. Yeah, super over when Invader would hit you with that punch. Yeah.
I mean, it's super. Oh, well, every time something happened and he talked about the hard punch or blah blah blah, boom, you got a full house right away. and the match could be the worst match of the night. The only thing that people want to wait is just the punch. That's all. The punch come, wow, they're happy, and the way, hold on a second, and the way that he was wrestled with the people, he put the people in his pocket because he was doing the same thing that we were talking before, timing and selling. And one of the things that I learned with the masked guys, you can see his face because, of course, it's covered. The only thing you see is the eyes, and maybe the eyes and the mouth. And when you got people close, if somebody grab your hole, you have to wrink your face and make some noise so they know you selling. Because the mask is a mask right there, dead. And
for those don't know,
I was learning that in the years of my school.
For those don't know, Invader used to wear a mask, right?
Go ahead.
Invader used to wear a mask.
Yes.
Okay.
Another
guy that I thought was a very good heel and a very good talker was Barrabás.
Oh yeah, yes. Barrabás, short guy, a manager. He got tons of heat. I mean, just look at him. You wanna jump on him, and then later, he come with the beard,
the red beard,
dye on red one. Then he have the eyebrow big ones like Ox Baker,
and, red.
But he was a heel. He was a son of a gun. The people hate him big time because when he talked, he was you see a serious guy, an old timer. Right. Talking to you and telling you things like, it's like a shut the fuck, you want to smack it in the face. Tons of heat. Barrabás, I mean, big time.
Yeah. Chiqui Star.
Another great talker. Big time. Oh, oof. I remember when I start in Capital, they say maybe a month later, they start the story with Chiqui. And Chiqui was the protege of Invader. Invader want to help him and Gaga like this, and Chiqui was losing matches here, and something happened there, and blah blah blah. Till one day he jumped on Invader, and Invader was helping him. The story was good. Took few months because the build was slow, step by step. Every week something happened till boom. When that happened and that volcano erupt, I mean, you got Chiqui Star forever, man, and was hot. Chiqui, everywhere we went was sold out.
You can check out another 20 minutes of Savio discussing more legends, personalities, and stories from the Puerto Rican wrestling territory at patreon.com/Konnan or Konnan.me.